Coming up on Transformers University, fire, water, some say wood. We're talking Battle Beasts right now on Transformers University. Hello, my friend, and welcome to episode number 114 of Transformers University. I am your host, Anthony Brucali, owner, operator, madman behind TFU.INFO, the website, the Tory Archive, this podcast, TFU News and Views podcast, and oh, so much more. And we're going to do a bit of a special sort of Transformers episode today. First off, if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, happy Valentine's Day 2022. And what better way to say I love you than some Battle Beasts.
Battle Beasts. Wood. Fire. Fire burns wood. Battle Beasts. Fire. Water. Water puts out fire. Battle Beasts. Water. Wood. Wood beats water. Battle Beasts. Collect every one of these incredible creatures to battle for fun.
Just activate their battle badges.
I got fire. I got water. Water beats fire.
Battle Beasts can grow into an army.
Collect all 84.
Battle Beasts.
Now you're probably thinking, Anthony, why are we talking Battle Beasts? Well, if you didn't listen to the last episode, you might be asking that. But Battle Beasts, as released in Japan as Beastformers, were part of the Transformers toy line for a short period. The whole series was not actually part of Transformers. It was kind of an offshoot thing. But if you heard episode 113, where we covered episode number 5 of the Headmasters cartoon, the Battle Beasts, the Beastformers, as they're called. They're the inhabitants of Planet Beast, or Planet Pisto, as the dub likes to call it. Those characters do exist in the Transformers universe. So, I was on the fence about including Battle Beasts as part of this conversation, as part of this podcast series, but I figured, this would be a fun little diversion away from what is essentially going to be a lot of coverage of the Headmasters cartoon and the UK comic for the rest of 1987 as we're covering it. Now, we have to jump backwards just a little bit to 1986. Because I remember 1986. That was the year I started watching baseball and really got into baseball cards. And I think collectability as a whole kind of really became a thing of public consciousness back in 1986. That's the first time I heard about collecting anything really that wasn't a toy and was meant for older people to do. It's the first time I heard about collecting comics. It's the first time I went to a card and comic book store, Collectibles Unlimited, Woodhaven Boulevard in Queens, New York. And also a big shout out to anyone who remembers Fun Stuff on Metropolitan Avenue, Middle Village, New York. Lots of fun times had at those places. But that is how I remember collecting becoming a thing, and things kind of sort of being worth money, as the phrase goes. And that all started in 1986. And no surprise, in 1986, aside from Transformers and G.I. Joe being the top toy lines of 86, with the Transformers movie and the G.I. Joe movie, and a couple of other toy lines being at the top, one that was at number 10, and like I said, not surprising, was Mattel's Muscle line.
Invasion of the muscle things. They've come to drive America nuts. They're ugly, they're weird, they're tiny, they're terrible. And they're pink! There are hundreds of them. It's an epidemic. That's going crazy!
Here, catch them!
Muscle things. Hundreds of different, I don't know what. They run in packs of 4, 10, or 28. Sold separately, new from Mattel. How many can you capture?
Now, if you remember Muscle, it was millions of unusual small creatures living everywhere. I think that's right. Spells out the word muscle. It was imported from Japan. It was a manga, and I believe cartoon called Kinnikuman, and that never came over. But Muscle was basically little wrestling guys, and wrestling WWF at the time, now WWE, was also becoming a pretty big deal in terms of popularity with kids in the United States. So why am I talking about wrestling and muscle and baseball cards? Well, there was bit of a collectability to all those. So muscle were these little plastic rubbery men. They were wrestlers, at least that's how they were branded. There was no fiction to go along with it, really. There was a crappy NES game that came out eventually, and and there was maybe a box blurb or two, basically telling you who the leaders were: Muscle Man and Terry Bull. And aside from that, you were left to your own devices. But the popularity of those figures just being, hey, there's a whole bunch of these and you can buy them and collect them and trade doubles and kind of do all the baseball cardy things with these little toys, that became a trend. And soon, Hasbro, like they often do, even now, see a trend and hop onto it. So what better way than to co-design a series of toys with their friends Takara and bring it over to the United States as a Battle Beast in 1986 at first, and then throughout 1987. Now, what Hasbro didn't do, which Takara did, was use Transformers as a way to wean people on to the brand. Aside from the great commercial that we just heard a few minutes ago, which totally has G1 voice actors and some terrific animation, that was really all the marketing push that Battle Beasts got in the U.S. I want to talk a little bit about the Battle Beast figures. They were small, about 2-inch tall, rubbery figures. They all had a rub symbol on them that either revealed wood, fire, or water, just like in the commercial. And it was basically a game of rock, paper, scissors. Fire beats wood, wood beats water, water beats fire. And that's how you played it. There was actually a Japanese version of this game from the instructions, and we'll get to more of that later. But I want to pause here because as we're going to talk about Beastformers, I want to give a big, huge shout out to my friend Greg Sepelak. You may know him as M Cypher. He is one of the folks really who helped inspire TFU.INFO as a website, as a toy archive. He used to keep M Cypher's variations list on the news group, which was a text file basically listing all the Transformers that had come out at that point and all the variations that we knew of at that point. And it was basically just this long text file that he used to have to post like in 2 or 3 parts. And that list is one of the frameworks I use to develop TFU.INFO. Now, Greg has gone on to become a prolific writer officially in Transformers via the fan club. A lot of those text stories that were fan club only were written or co-written by Greg. He is also one of the key people behind the project that eventually became TF Wiki. And he is a regular photo and written contributor to TF Wiki right now. He has a fantastic Patreon that you should certainly check out and certainly give to if you can. And lastly, he has a love for these small figures, such as Battle Beasts and BotBots. He's got a BotBots list of like minimum buys and which ones to buy to try to get them all per series that he keeps on Google Drive that's available for anyone. That list is amazing and saved me many times. And another thing he has been working on just recently, and it's on Google Drive, I'll include a link to it in the show notes for this show, is translating all of the bio cards from Japanese to English for all of the Beastformers line, plus translating all the rule books, the role-playing game that we'll talk about in a little bit. Everything that goes with Beastformers and how it relates to Transformers is is something he's working through, and you can follow along. He keeps the Word document up on Google Drive, and as he updates it, you can follow along with the original Japanese and with his translation. So definitely check it out. And also, just to tag on to that, he's been talking a lot about Battle Beasts and Beastformers on his Twitter account as of right now, February 2022. And you can catch him on Twitter at MCipher. That's the letter M, SIPHER. And please go check out his page. So enough of me rambling on about all the cool things that are really going on in the world of Beastformers and Battle Beasts as of right now. Let's run back and take a quick look at Series 1 of Battle Beasts as it was released in North America. So you had 28 figures in the first series. They consisted of Pirate Lion, who we've mentioned before in the previous episode, is the leader of the good guys, and becomes kind of the main character in Beastformers as Sheep Commander. But now I got to remember what he was called. White Leo, as his name is in Beastformers. We also have Deerstalker and Ferocious Tiger, both of which we saw in the episode before. We have Colonel Bird, who's a bird. Killer Carp, who, as you can imagine, is also a carp. I'm going to go through some of these the names pretty quickly, but there's some fun names in here that I do want to mention. We got Triple Threat Snake, Horny Toad. How they got that one past the goalie is beyond me, but there is a Horny Toad. Sledgehammer Elephant, which looks really cool. I might have to look into picking up that one. Rocky Rhino, Roman Buffalo, Roma-in Buffalo. It's spelled ROMAIN apostrophe. I don't know if that's a typo on Super Toy Archive, who has a great picture archive of all the Battle Beasts, or if that's really what it's supposed to be. But he is where the buffalo roam, I guess. Grizzly Bear, Blitzkrieg Bat. Yes, that's right. It's Blitzkrieg Bat. What else we got? Okay, so that's the first 12. Next, we've got a Gargantuan Gorilla, Swiney Boar, Gruesome Gator, Sly Fox, Hardtop Tortoise, Rubberneck Giraffe. I love that name. That's fantastic. Prickly Porcupine, Sawtooth Shark, Danger Dog, Hare, Hare, Raising Rabbit, Hare Raising Rabbit, yes. Sir Sire Horse. That is an impressive name. He is knighted because he's a sir, and then he's also royalty because he's a sire, and then he's also horse. War Weasel, Bloodthirsty Bison, to go with your Bloodthirsty Dolphin, Bighorn Sheep, Web-slinging Spider. Come on, gotta love the Spider-Man reference in a day where that really wasn't a commonplace. And Krusty Krab. I always say let's try to be. Probably want to stay away from those Krusty Krabs. Now, sticking with Battle Beasts. So in Series 2, you've got 24 figures, starting with Icky Iguana, Armored Armadillo, Jaded Jag, Humongous Hippo, Major Moose. We have Delta Chameleon, and that's the Delta triangle symbol, not the word Delta. Trying to figure out if that's a riff on something, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. Kickback Kangaroo, Octillion Octopus, Wolfgang Walrus. You can see a lot of these are alliteration. Powerhouse Mouse, Dragoon Raccoon, Antic Anteater, Run Amok Duck, Minor Mole, Cutthroat Cuttlefish, Eager Beaver, Slasher Seahorse, Night Owl, that's a night with a K, Hunchback Camel, Pillaging a Polar Bear, Squirrely Squirrel, Sabersword Tiger, Bludgeonly Bulldog, and Putrid Skunk, PEW-TRID, Putrid Skunk, meaning he smells. All right, on to Series 3. Series 3 featured another 24 Battle Beasts, some unique animal modes. We got Panzer Panda, Leapin' Lizard, Killer Koala, Tarsier Tyrant, Black Panther, no relation to the Marvel character, Torrential Tapir, King Cobra, Manic Mandrill, Pixelated Pointer, Pillager Pig, Rowdy Rooster, Musky Ox, Tanglin Pangolin, that's a great name, Slowpoke Sloth, Ardent Aardvark, Bodacious Bovine, Zealot Zebra, Harrier Hawk, Diving Duckbill, Crooked Crow, Frenzied Flamingo, Fleet-Footed Antelope, Pugnacious Penguin, and Ossified Orangutan. And that's all of the first 3 series, the regular, what we would consider the regular series Battle Beasts. In addition, there were Laser Beasts, which were the 4th series. These were sold also under Shadow Warriors sub-brand for Battle Beasts, and there were 36 of these. These are tail enders and can be fairly pricey, especially as you get into some of the later ones and some of the higher number ones that weren't released in the U.S. They all featured an orb in their chest instead of a sticker that if you held it up to the light and looked through, you could see what their wood, fire, water combination ability was. And by the way, all of the Battle Beasts featured randomized wood, fire, and water stickers or laser orbs. So that means there were 3 variations at the very least of every figure, not counting paint variations, and the colors of plastic differed during manufacturing processes. So there's certainly some between aging coloring and just manufacturing differences. There can be some minor color variances as well. So let's wrap up with the final 36 Laser Beasts. We have Blue Eagle, Spark Shark, Ceylon, which is a rhinoceros, Anarchy, which is a monkey, I think, and then Tiger Burn, Condor Racin, not bad of a name, Ground Wolf, Fly Sailor, Zarganian, Rainbow Samu, Shul, Brain Mouse, Brown Lion, Green Cats, Fight Horn, Hustle Bear. Hustle Bear sounds just awesome. I might have to look for that. Battle Fennec, Killer Hound, Dragon Seahorn, Strong Hurricane, Sea Panic, Puzzle Color, Mant Frenzy, Scope Cougar, Skull Grotus, King Buster, Slag King, Jeerer Monkey, Hornhead, Monkey Fighter, Flying Dragon, Kickback, hey, like the Transformer, Skybat, Grin Reefer, which is pretty cool. It's like it's some sort of devil ray monster with a big smile. That's a fantastic pun. Salmon Manther and Dino Gator. Now, Series 4 also brought Laser Beasts, but it also brought a new commercial.
Battle Beasts, battle for the fun of it.
Now they battle in incredible battle chariots, the ram, the tiger, the reindeer.
Battle Beasts,
And in battle transport vehicles that change into battle stations, the beetle, firebird, and shark.
Battle Beasts,
And to carry your army, there's the bandolier.
Let's battle! Wood! Fire! Fire beats wood!
Battle Beasts can grow into an army.
Bandolier, chariots, and transports, each sold separately.
Battle Beasts.
There were chariots, there were play sets, there were all sorts of neat things. There were also these neat drills that were available in Japan. And the reason I want to point out the drill, just the same way as we mentioned in the previous episode, that some of these Battle Beasts were homaged in Titan's Return as the head modes for the Monster Bots. The drills were also homaged as part of the smaller, I guess it's what you call Legends class figures, the ones that came with the extra heads. There's a blue drill that I'm looking at a picture of right now that is totally the drill that came with whatever they were calling the Battle Trap one. I can't remember the name, but there's definitely another callback to Battle Beasts in those drills. Now, also worth noting, of the 36 Laser Beasts, only the first 12 were released in the United States. Others were released in North America and in Europe, and Japan. As I mentioned before, Battle Beast not just available in the US, also available in other parts of the world, such as Europe and Canada, as evidenced by this French commercial.
Dragonaute. Chaque dragonaute peut avoir la force du bois, du feu ou de l'eau. Pour identifier sa force, frappe son blason. Feu! Eau, l'eau éteint le feu. Bois, feu, le feu brûle le bois. Et le bois flotte sur l'eau. Dragonaute, des bêtes de combat.
And while Battle Beasts were not part of Transformers in the US, they were part of Transformers in Japan. So just after this, we're going to talk a bit more about Beastformers. Hey, want to help out this podcast or the website TFU.INFO? There's a number of ways you can do it. Let me tell you how. You can help us directly by joining our Patreon and enrolling as a student at Transformers University. There, you'll get early access to the podcast as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes peeks and perks for as little as $1 a month. Sign up is quick and easy. Just swing on by to www.patreon.com/TFUINFO. Another way you can help us is by using our Amazon link, www.tfu.info/Amazon. Type that into your browser whenever you want to shop at Amazon, and a portion of what you spend will be contributed back to us. It's that easy. Finally, you don't become the world's longest running transforming toy archive without some help from other fans. We're always on the hunt for photos of figures and accessories we're missing from our pages. If you'd like to contribute, go to tfu.info/help for a list of what we need, or send an email to info@tfu.info. tfu.info, the Alpha Trion and Omega Prime of transforming toys. Now, back to the show. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Beastformers line as it came out in Japan. Now, Series 1 was the one that was branded with Transformers logos. They came in the purple and red style boxes, red for the good guys, the Autobot aligned ones, and purple for the Decepticon aligned ones. Figures also came with an individual bio card with a painted character image and character data and line art on the back. All this stuff is detailed very nicely in the Google Drive file that's linked in the show notes. So before moving on to Series 2, probably worth noting here, 2 characters not released in Japan for Beastformers, though they were included on the promotional materials and had Japanese names. So the character known as Powerhouse Mouse was known as Scout Mouse in Japan, but did not see a toy release. And Hunchback Camel was also not released, though his name was Yellow Camelus in Japan. Now, moving on to Series 2. Series 2 in Japan, the boxes changed to using these green grid boxes, but did keep Autobot and Decepticon markings on the box. The packaging also featured bio cards inside and had a bit more of a wide variety of figures. And the first wave of figures, a number of those saw re-releases in this series, plus 12 new Beastformers. Series 3 in Japan saw the line become a bit larger, again using the green packaging. And there was such things. There was a playset released in Japan, as well as exclusive variations of the 2 leader figures, some multi-packs, a mail-away figure. But worth noting here is that though there were 76 Battle Beasts prior to the Laser Beasts, only 54 of them were actually released in Beastformers at this point. Now, we're going to jump a little bit ahead to 1988 here, because in 1988, the Transformers branding was removed from the packaging for Beastformers, and line was giving the tagline, Role-Playing Animal Army, which has become to be called the RPG series of Beastformers. And that's important because there's actual RPG, quote-unquote RPG. There's an actual game beyond the rock, paper, scissors that we'll get into in just a little bit, thanks to, once again, to some of the hard work by M. Cypher, and you can catch it over at his Twitter account at MSIPHER. And I'll go over one of his tweets that explains the rules to the game because it's pretty neat. But before we do that, let's also mention that this is where the Laser Beasts were released, and a whole bunch of Laser Beasts were released. And they didn't really catch on in the United States, but were released in Europe. So there are certainly variations between what was released in the US, what was released in Canada and Europe, and what was released in Japan. Additionally, at this time, there was also most of the Battle Beasts, the regular Battle Beasts, not the Laser Beasts, were released in Gashapon capsule machines throughout Japan for about 200 yen. That translates to about $2 in current currency. Not sure what the exchange rate was in 1988. Those didn't come with bio cards, and the weapons were randomly packed, but the information out there is fuzzy at best. And Series 4 would see the release of the remainder of the regular Battle Beasts in Japan, except for the two aforementioned Mouse and Camel figures. But that represents the whole of the Beastformers line. So it ran for a little over a year in Japan. It ran for a little less than a year in the United States. And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to talk a little bit about the RPG, the game rules for the official Beastformers role-playing game. And reading this from a tweet from M. Cypher on February 5th, 2022. So rule part 1. All right, pick 5 different Beastformers for your team. Give them a weapon, and then I guess preferably is their matching MVP weapon, which stands for Miracle Victory Power. And the weapons and the figures both have an ID number molded into them. So if you're ever trying to match weapons to Battle Beasts, the figures have a number on them that usually corresponds to one of the lists online or on some of the posters. And their weapon also has that number molded into it. And then you line up your beasts in attack order. 1 beast per team is active at a time. No changes can be made mid-game. Part 2. Fire, water, wood determines who attacks first. Burst Sun is an automatic win. And I forgot to mention Burst Sun. So there was a promotion both in the Battle Beast line and in the Beastformers line of Burst Sun White Leo. I've read different reports that the figure didn't actually come with the Burst Sun sticker on it. So it was a rub symbol with a sun on it that basically trumped any of the other elemental symbols that were in the game. So if you had a figure with Burst Sun, it would beat anything that was on the field. Now, we know it came with White Leo, but I've read that it came as a sticker that you added on to White Leo or to any figure that you wanted, really, or if it only came on White Leo, but or Pirate Lion, as he's called in the United States. So Burst Sun in the rules is an automatic win, and in case of a tie, so if you both pull fire or both pull water or wood, then you had to play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent to determine who went first. Now, this is the only way the battle emblems play into the game, which Cypher notes that is kind of disappointing, and I agree. Now, from here, you need 2 dice. Both players will roll 2 dice. The highest total wins that round. And the loser loses 1 point of energy. So the attacks can be modified if your character has their MVP weapon. There's a chart within one of the books or one of the pamphlets that kind of tells you what each weapon does extra and how it does extra. But whoever rolls the higher score wins, and whoever doesn't roll the higher score loses 1 point of energy. Now, there is a way of keeping score with the figures. Every figure has 5 energy points, and you can keep track with the beast's arms. So a full power beast is standing straight up with both arms down. They lose 1 point. The character's left arm goes up. They lose 2 points. The character's right arm goes up and out. And by up, I mean up and straight forward in front of them. And then if they're down to 2 points, the left arm goes up in the air like they're raising their hand. 1 point, it's both arms up in the air, and then 0 points, they're knocked over. According to Cypher, beaten beasts are put in the prison of the winning player's fortress playset, and the next beast in line steps up. So here, if the beast is using their MVP weapon, they have a miracle number. If the winning dice total matches the miracle number, they do extra damage. The amount of damage goes up, the harder it is to get that total. Each Beast's RPG bio shows the M number and the extra damage, which you can find all on this incredible Word document he has out there for everyone. And he also notes that the M numbers of any of the beasts not actually sold within the RPG line were not on their bio cards, so it's about 20 of them. You had to buy a special MOOC, and we've mentioned these before. That's a magazine book called Hero Special 4 Beastformers that has all the bio data for all 76 beasts. If you are the attacker, you can declare M power, which is your chance to heal instead of attack. You roll the dice, and if you get the M number of your figure, your energy goes back to 5. If not, nothing happens and the turn is over. So the only bit of strategy here, as Scythe points out, is that you could decide that if you have a character who has an M number that's more commonly rolled, I guess that would be like 7 or 11, you can then try to heal them for a chance to be playing longer with that character. First player to capture 3 opponents wins. So there is a bit of a gambling element to this if you wanted to trade toys or lose toys, much like Magic the Gathering's old ante system where you would draw a card at the beginning of a game. Now, Scythe points out something interesting here is that if losing 3 means you lose, then why are we picking 5? And he thinks it might just be a mistake. There are rules for a 3-on-3 practice game that might have just made their way into the final version of the instructions. And that is the RPG game. It's pretty simple. Once again, I got to shout out Greg Sepelak, M-Cypher, for doing all this incredible work on translating all the Beastformers stuff.
Thanks for listening to the show. Stick around to hear what's coming up next episode, but first, I want to fill you in on a few ways you can stay in touch with the show. Want to be on the show? Leave us a voicemail at 702-763-4838. That's 702-POD-4TFU. Or send an email to info@TFU.info. Be sure to catch us on Twitter at TFU_info and on Facebook and Instagram under the username TFU.INFO, all one word. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TFU.INFO, where we post all of our podcasts, plus special video segments, reviews, and live coverage of Transformers-related events such as New York Toy Fair and New York Comic Con. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please visit us at www.tfu.info, the world's longest-running transforming toy archive.
And that will wrap up this episode of Transformers University. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tour of Beastformers. I know I didn't go terribly in depth into everything. I don't necessarily know if that would have been worth our time. I just want you to kind of get a feel for how this line existed within Transformers and ultimately adjacent to Transformers in Japan, and how it was almost pretty much completely ignored on the United States side. Basically, Hasbro chasing a trend that would later die off probably by 1989, and actually it would move into kind of into micro machines, into small vehicles, which would be another trend they chase when we finally get around to talking about 1989. So with that, once again, please check out the show notes. Check out the link to M-Cypher's Google Doc. It is awesome and well worth your time. And check out his Patreon page too, because he does a lot of great work for the Transformers fan community, and he certainly could use your support. Hopefully I got everything right. This is kind of all new to me too. So if I messed anything up, drop me a line at TFU_info on Twitter. It's the best way to get in touch with me. If you're on YouTube, you can comment below. And let me know if I kind of stepped in it anywhere. And with that, let's talk about next episode. Next time on Transformers University. we are going to stay in Japan. We're going to stay with Headmasters, but we're not going back to the cartoon just yet. We are going to talk video games. And what better way than to talk about Headmasters for the Famicom in 1987. So please join us next time on the show. Once again, I am your host, Anthony Brucali, owner, operator, madman behind TFU.INFO. Till then, see ya.